Hi, everyone, and welcome again to Arts and Minds Online. The Arts and Minds program usually meets in person, which of course we all prefer, on Wednesdays, but we can't do that right now. So we're meeting this way. This is a way we can keep in touch, a way that you can keep your creative juices flowing, and try an art activity at home with materials that you might have on hand. Okay. So last week we did 3 sheep with watercolor crayons, which was fun. I'm sure your masterpieces are hanging on the wall, maybe at the gallery. um, anyway, I think we had fun doing that one. This week we're doing a scene. This is called Early Spring. This is from the Gatineau. I took this picture a little while ago in the Gatineau around Old Chelsea, and I liked it. It's still got snow. There's still lots of snow at that point. I liked this, particularly I liked this tree, this very dead tree in the foreground. The river, which showed still some snow and ice, but a lot of open water as well. Okay, the bridge and the forest and so on. So this is what we're going to do today. It's a drawing. The materials that you're going to need for this are paper, and this would be a good time. I think the list of materials is on your screen, and it would be a good time for you to gather them up. In any case, you need paper. I've used 8.5 by 11. You need a pencil. You need colored pencils and markers and a Sharpie. If you don't have both colored pencils and markers, it doesn't matter. You can use either or. I've used both in this. So when you've gathered up your materials, take a pause now, gather everything up, get yourself settled, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, all set. This is the reference, and this will be on your screen at all times. This is our line drawing that we're going to use. So first thing that I would draw would be the tree. Get the tree in there because, again, it is for me the focal point of this picture. Okay, so draw the tree, and in a minute you're going to pause and do your own drawing. The snowbanks are just sort of curved lines, just some curved lines. Okay. Yours does not have to replicate this. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. It's your picture, so you can add what you like to it. This is the river. In the photograph, it stuck out behind the tree. You don't have to have it doing that. You can end the river here. All right, the tree. And in the background, some pine trees, the forested area. This is it's a 6-tree forest. Not very dense, but you can draw as many trees as you like in there if you would like it to look more like a big forest. Okay. The trees you can see are just kind of like triangular shapes piled on top of one another. Okay. So this is a good time to take a long pause. This picture will be up, and get your drawing ready to put the color on. Okay. Okay. We're ready to add color to this. And I'm going to start with the tree. I'm going to start with brown marker. I'm using markers for this, partly because they show up more, they're darker, and that's what I want with this tree. I want the tree to be very much in the foreground. So I'm going to start with a brown marker. And I'm going to start, again, when I'm working on this, I'm working on it sort of sideways, so it's a little bit awkward to do, but you can see it. And you have the reference also on the screen. So we're going to start by putting in some brown. We're not going to put solid brown. Just going to put some brown with your marker, some strokes. These markers are very pointy. I'm not crazy about them, but it's what I had. So just put some brown, and I'm not filling it all in, and I'm not sticking necessarily to the lines either. All right. You can start yours while I'm doing it, and then you can pause in a minute. Okay. If you look at a tree isn't just all one solid color. You start to see some highlights of other colors. And again, if you check the reference, I put some highlights of orange, again with marker. I put some orange highlights in here and there, just, just to brighten it up a little bit. Okay. Just here and there, some orange. Okay. And then I've also put some highlights in with a light blue marker. If you don't have light blue, if you have a turquoise, that would be great, but I don't. So I'm using a light blue marker. And again, I'm putting it just here and there. Don't always just go up and down either, just these are sideways ones. I really can't get a total look at this sideways, but it's okay. Okay. Now, use your black marker, especially on this side of the tree, which is away from the light. I'm in this photograph, the light was over here. So trunk, at the bottom. Using quite a bit of black here. Again, check the reference. Especially in the parts where the branches meet, in the crotch of the tree where the branches meet. It's always dark there. Don't fill it in fully. Okay. And I'm just going to leave that for now and let you finish it. This is a good time for you to pause and keep checking the reference. Again, try to leave a little bit of light on one side of the tree. Okay. Okay. Pause and come back when you're finished with that. Okay. This time we're going to do the trees in the background. And because they are in the background, if you look at the reference, they look quite a bit lighter than this tree because they're farther away. So I started actually with just a pencil, just a regular lead pencil, and I put in just some gray. If you have a gray colored pencil, which I don't have, that would be perfect. You just put gray. Don't worry about it just yet because you're going to put other colors on here. And again, you're not filling it all in. You're leaving some spaces. And I'll go through and do each of these for now. And if you drew a whole forest of many trees, I'll bet by now you wish you hadn't as you do all this coloring. Okay, so just a bit of gray. Now, with that, I'm going to add some, and now I'm using colored pencils, okay, so that it won't be so dark. I'm going to use green. Okay, and I'm just going over the gray. Oops, forgot that little part at the top. Just go over the gray. There we go. And now I'm going to add a little bit of dark blue. So dark out, and especially on the side, on this side. Just to darken up one side of it. And press quite hard with this. Get this quite a dark value over here. Okay. All right. And I'm going to leave this for now. I don't really want them any darker than that because I don't want them to compete with this. So I'm quite satisfied with those for now. So, but this is the time for you to pause and do your forest. Okay, Now let's take a look at the bridge. The bridge over this river was sort of a chestnut brown, kind of a reddy brown. So I did, well, I did just that. I put a red, oops, a red colored pencil first. Fix that in a second. And then went over it. Oh, just sort of over top. Doesn't matter if the red still shows. That's good. With brown, so you get sort of a reddy brown effect. I don't like the way this is going. Here we go. The posts on the bridge are brown. If you've already drawn them in there with pencil, you might want to just leave them like that, but I think to put a colored pencil over the top is better. And then the cross hatching here, the pattern on the bridge again with brown. So again, good time to pause and get the bridge done. Okay, so while we're at the bridge, mentioned that there's a path. There's a path leading to the bridge. It might be hard to see that. It's quite faint. It's quite faint for a reason. I don't want it to really stand out. So with this path, I would use black, probably a black colored pencil, and just put a sort of a hint of a path, because there's still snow on that path. Okay, and it's in the distance, so you really can't see it all that well. And I'm just going to leave that like that for a minute. We can fix all of this up when we're done if it needs to be fixed up. Okay, I don't think we need to pause with that one, so we'll just go ahead and start working on the snow. The snow is predominantly white, but snow is not just all white. There are shadows, and you can see that in the reference. I'm just going to take a look at the reference for a minute and just point this out. There are shadows, and there are shadows particularly on the side of the tree. There are shadows to show reflect a shadow from other things in the area, but also dips in the snow. So you can see where I put in a lot of shadows there. Mostly blue, some purple, and some with just pencil. So what I would suggest that you do is start with your pencil again and just show where you want to have the shadows. I'm going to start with these over here because they're on the dark side of the tree here. Okay, so I'm going to have a shadow there. I have a shadow here too. Shadow up here. And a shadow here. And I just put a shadow in here. And then under the bridge, putting a shadow there, under the bridge. Putting a shadow here. These are sort of two banks of snow if you've done it this way. So there'd be quite a pronounced shadow between them. One's farther in the distance. Okay, another shadow here. Shadow here. Whoops, I'm on the river. And then just kind of here and there. There's no right place to put these, just so that you have some. Yeah. I think that's probably enough. And then start putting color on that shadow. If you've got a purple colored pencil, that's a very nice picture for a nice color for shadow. So do this. Put some purple. Again, quite dark here behind the tree. A bit in there as well. A bit here. Here under the bridge. Quite dark under the bridge. Here and here. A bit here. As I say, there's no, yours won't look like this exactly. There's no right place. to put these shadows. Some of them will be stronger than others, wider than others. Okay. I don't like it just with purple, so I'm going to add a little bit of blue. And these are just sort of overlapping colors. So. Okay. I'm just going to take a little peek at at this again. Okay. All right. I think I want something over here. It's looking a little bit bare. So I put a little shadow in there as well. All right. You should stop now. You should pause now and put some shadows in your picture. You have the reference to keep looking at. All right. And then come back when you're finished. Okay, it's now time to do the river. The river, as I say, is one of the main features besides the tree, but this is the river. The river has an open part. You can see in the picture here in the reference. Okay, this part is open. So what I'm going to do with a blue pencil is just kind of indicate where I want that to be. Okay, I want this to be the open part, more or less. Okay, kind of in there. And I'm going to start to shade that in, color that in, this time with purple, or with blue, with light blue. Okay. Not solid because there's still going to be bits of snow in there as well. And I'm going to go with a dark blue there. We're just going to get increasingly darker here, because when you look at that river at this time of the year from above, it really looks black. But it does have blue colors, are certainly reflecting from the sky. And again, to look at the reference. There's also some open bits. I want to see some open bits, maybe up by the shore of the river too. Just here and there, maybe some open bits as well. Okay, sorry, cracks in the snow and ice there. All right. Not quite dark enough yet. I'll use black again. I don't necessarily like using black a lot. I like to make dark in other ways, but we're going to just holding your pencil this way, maybe. Let's get a little bit darker. Okay, I want to take a look at the reference again because I don't see it on my screen. All right. Maybe a little bit darker up here as well. As I say, you have to sort of look at yours and see if you like the way it looks. Okay, I'll leave that for now. I want to just come back to these shadows in the snow for a minute. Oh, and I should say you probably want to pause and finish that, the river. But okay, I want to take a look at the shadows in the snow. If you're looking at them and you think, oh, you don't like the fact that there are so many sort of sharp lines, use the eraser end of your pencil and you can just sharpen those. They'll erase a bit. They won't erase fully, but it just gives them a little softness. This one makes them blend a little more if you think they're too streaky, and I think some of these are. Okay, so you can work with that. Okay, we need to put a sky in. And the sky, I'm going to use a light blue for the sky. And when you're doing sky, instead of doing streaky lines, do more sort of circular motion. So I'm going to start by doing this. And you will see as you do this, that if you leave spaces, that's good, those are clouds. Okay. They just kind of form themselves. You don't have to draw clouds on there. They'll just form as you do some circular. It just makes a better effect if you do it that way. Okay. The top of the sky, the top of the picture, that's where the darker sky should be. You want to do that. Make it a little darker there. And maybe some dark in between. As it gets down lower, it's then very light. Okay, so pause again and complete the sky. Okay, so we've done pretty much all that we need to do. So take a look at yours and see if there are things that you would like to fix. I mean, I look at this and think, oh, I would like that a little softer. Actually, I would like this a little darker, because this is a shadow under the bridge. So you take a look at yours, maybe even here a little darker. See where you think you'd like to just make some improvements in your picture. I might even go back and do a little bit more dark on one side of the trees in the forest. Final step, if you have a Sharpie, I like to outline some things with the Sharpie. In this case, I'm definitely going to outline this tree so that, again, it really stands out. Just outlining it, not doing anything inside. If you don't need to do this, if you like the picture the way it looks, leave it. Okay. Also, I think in the reference one as well, I did a little outline part of the river as well. And it doesn't have to be a solid line. It'd be sort of like that. I think I went down here like this, maybe even here. Went down like this. Maybe just to connect it. Just connect it this way. You might even, I don't think you want to put a solid line there. Okay, and I wouldn't outline anything else, but that's totally up to you. All right, so that's your picture. This was the reference, and that's on your screen. This is your picture. Don't forget, when it's done and you're happy with it, sign it and put the date. And if you have some way of sending this to us, a photo of this, we'd love to get it. At the Arts and Minds program, we always take photos of everybody's pictures, and then we always do a group photo at the end, which is fun. So maybe if we get photos, we can find a way to put together a group photo. So just before I leave you today, I want to give you one other idea that you might be able to do at home. This is something that I like to do. I like to draw, and so as I'm sitting in my condo, isolated these days, I like to look around, maybe draw something in the condo or something looking out. So what I did the other day was this. My condo looks out onto a yard, and there are trees in that yard. And there's one big tree, which is very popular with the squirrels. And there are lots of squirrels that go zinging around in that tree all the time. So I wanted to draw that, but my cat takes great pleasure in watching those squirrels running around. So this is my cat, Katie, sitting on her condo tower, watching the squirrels cavorting about in the tree. So if you might want to try and do something around your house as well. Okay, so that's it for today, and I look forward to our next session together. In the meantime, take good care.